You might have heard, women don't like muscles. In fact, men approach me way more. That is just a limiting belief. That has never been the case for me. Women do like muscles, and it's just, again, a limiting belief that a lot of people say because of 3 reasons that I've compiled in this video. Because of aesthetics, femininity, and also being subhuman. Let's go. Now all of these 3 together, just make sure when you watch this video, I am on your side. Just remember that, and remember to take this with humility, understanding that you can actually make changes for you to do better. And of course, not every woman is the same. I want to stress that too. So let's start off with this video, and by the way, you're going to understand why not every woman is the same. Anyways, aesthetics. Most men don't understand actually training for aesthetics. Now you can of course make sure that you get strong, of course you can train for your goals, but also make sure to train for aesthetics. Not only some men want to look great, of course, why not want to look great? But then there's also, why not just look great while also chasing your goals too? That's that other thing. Of course, do what you think looks good, and of course there's somebody for you. But generally, for just like there's the hourglass figure for women, there is the V-taper for men. This shows, again, you know, just having just the body type of strength, having that V taper, that's where it is, having that kind of like upside down Dorito shape. Then there's also making sure your biceps are in check. So what happens a lot of the time is that men overshadow their biceps with their triceps. So their triceps become overdeveloped, and it can also overshadow their shoulder. And so their biceps and their shoulder don't look as big because triceps can end up growing more. So not only you can optimize your V-taper because your androgen receptors are most concentrated in your chest, traps, and shoulders, not only can you optimize those, and again, I'll mention more about that and make sure that it's easy to implement, but with your V-taper and your biceps, if you make sure to just train your biceps, like if you want to have big triceps or you already have big triceps, just make sure to put extra intention in your biceps too. Because what ends up happening is that people, because they're not really, like average people aren't really fully informed on actual physiology, and so they really, the biggest muscle that they really look at, that everybody knows, is the bicep. Everybody looks at that one, and the truth is, if you have an overall harmony in your physique, again, I talk more about this in my full program that I just finished, and I released it, and check the link in the description. If you have full harmony for your V-taper, your biceps, all of this together, optimizing your androgen receptors, the acceptors of testosterone, by the way, will allow you to become more dimorphic. And all of this together, what dimorphism is, it is the differences between men and women, the sexual differences, what makes a man look like a man, what makes a woman look like a woman. If you look like a man, you will attract a more feminine woman. If you look more like a feminine man, then you will end up attracting more of a masculine woman. And all of this together really means if you look more masculine, you're going to attract a more feminine woman. It's just simply polarity. This is like magnets. If there are 2 things that are the same, they're not going to get attracted as much. But if there is like a difference, like a south and a north pole, they'll get attracted. The other thing is that the reason why it doesn't seem like women are attracted to you if you are getting bigger, the reason why, 2 things. You need to actually speak to people like you're a human being. And if you don't actually speak to people, if you don't smile to people, if you just have your head down, like, you know, you're listening to music and you're just like kind of like locked in, but like it's not really like part of improving your life is also improving the relationships you have around you. And so it just seems like you're antisocial, and that's typically not that good because humans are social creatures. It's important to understand that. I know sometimes you want to have times where you're just fully locked in, but truthfully, if you envision the best version of yourself, the best version of yourself would likely impact people and improve their positivity within their day. So if you're not getting attention from girls, it might be because they're shy. You might look hypermasculine, not necessarily like an ogre hypermasculine, but you might just look a little bit intimidating. This might happen especially if you're very, very confident. And so what happens is you need to make sure that you make other people feel comfortable being around you. So there's many ways to do that, and we'll get into that. But the big thing that I want to tell you is if a girl that has a little bit more confidence, she might come up to you and she will maybe test you. She might say like, oh yeah, like, I don't know, she might just be kind of like mean in some way, and like not all girls do this the same way, but she might say something like, I don't know, like she might tell you where you're like lacking in a certain body part just to see how you'd react. Or she might, I don't know, there's just many different ways. You can think of when something has happened where a girl or just like a feminine person or just like even a masculine guy, just to test if you're like good for his friendship, he might just test you in a way, like saying like, oh shoot, you look kind of funny with your shirt like that, just to see how you act. And like, oh no I don't, or like, or maybe you even fix your shirt even though you thought it was nice to begin with. It's called holding frame. What you want to do is you want to hold frame. You want to hold that confidence in yourself. If somebody tells you, like, why is your shirt like that? Then you would say, oh, because I like it. I think it looks cool. All that. And like, sure, you can think about it later. It's like, okay, maybe it was kind of funny. I don't know. But like, if you like it, then you like it. If you, like, remember, caveman Grug would just do what he wants and do what he likes. Of course, make sure that his community is happy, because of course that's what he wants, because he is a good man. Here we have, if you fail, then everybody will see you as a chump. If you are told that you are, I don't know, like the example would be, let's say somebody says, nice shirt, like, and says it kind of like in like a condescending way, you can just say thanks instead of getting all like angry about it, because that's showing that you're actually secure in yourself. That's the really biggest thing. And testosterone, having high levels of testosterone will end, like, because your androgen receptors are sensitive, of course, making sure that your hormones are in check. My entire channel is about this. If you have high testosterone levels, you're going to have higher self-worth, self-perception, and all of that together will cause you to just naturally not even notice the shit tests even. You might even just like act as if you were just going to act because you are just confident within yourself. But if you fail, if you take it the wrong way, you're just going to be seen as a chump. You're going to be seen as someone who is acting like they're all that, but they're not actually all that. But if you succeed, then people are going to trust you way more and trust you for how you are doing. It's kind of similar, like your mom might even do this. She might, while you're like working on something you're passionate about, she might even say something like, oh yeah, like maybe downplay it, like say, oh yeah, you should try this other thing, even though you're fully locked in on this thing, just because it's kind of like questioning if you're actually secure in the direction that you're taking yourself. All that stuff together. A lot of people will do this, and it's just because they want to feel like they can trust you. They want to feel your strength, and not only women will do this, but men will do this all together. So if you fail, you look like a chump, so don't fail. Just make sure to hold frame. That's all of it. Make sure, subhuman. Don't be a subhuman. Make sure to like smile to people. Don't be as intimidating, especially if you're younger. If you're a younger man, a lot of girls, like I don't know, if you're a teenage guy, then a lot of teenage girls will think you're kind of scary also. So just make sure that that doesn't happen. You know, I remember there's like a point where I started to learn about more dimorphism. It's a point where I buzzed my head, right? And like, picture me, I'm like freaking jacked, and I'm at school, right? And so what ends up happening is that like literally throughout the day, like, I don't know, I just get less social interactions. And also like, because honestly I'm like a lesser version of myself at this point, I'm feeling a little bit insecure also. And so then also later in the day I'm in like in the library, and then I get approached by the librarian asking me for my school ID. I don't know, I just thought it was pretty funny. Because, you know, it's like, it's just working on yourself and like making sure you're getting more dimorphic, but to a point. Like, let's say if you buzz your head, if you're jacked, if you're wearing, I don't know, like a gold watch, if you're wearing like a gold chain or something like that. Like my freaking math teacher told me I look like a gangster. Anyways, smile. If you smile, you look a little bit less intimidating. That's great. And don't be so intimidating. Like, pretend, like, don't try to be like a social recluse, especially if you look a little bit more masculine, because then people don't trust you as much. They don't, if you're not smiling, if you're not showing that you're a part of their team, then they're not going to trust you. And in order for actually to have more experiences with people, of course with women, with other men, making friendships, you need to show that you're actually like a good person and like you actually have like good values. And you convey that based on the way you carry yourself, based on, you know, your hormonal health influencing you to actually not be so insecure when you're talking to other people. All of those things together, they help the most. And to mention androgen receptor sensitivity and density just really quickly, because they can help with your aesthetics, be giving you the V-taper. All of this together, I can really, like, I have full videos on androgen receptor sensitivity and density, but for very quick tips that I can give you, I'd say just like baseline tips, because this is like not a full androgen receptor sensitivity video. Make sure that you don't overtrain, you have good recovery, and you also make sure you incorporate quick bursts of like stress, quick bursts of energy aid in sensitivity to your androgen receptors. You can also, lifting heavy doesn't actually increase testosterone, that's a misconception, but it can increase your androgen receptor sensitivity. And you can have zinc and magnesium because it helps with androgen receptor function. All of this together, there's just a baseline for understanding your aesthetics when it comes to a man. Also make sure you have harmony with also training legs. A lot of guys skip legs and then they just look like a Crash Bandicoot character. So, my full system is linked in description, first one, and like the video, bro.